Welcome back in. Goals, box to box, episode number 7. Guys, we are entering the international break, so a little bit different of a feel for the episode. Nonetheless, I expect nothing but a full banger. Plenty of, I think, hot takes and opinions, especially coming from this past weekend. If you guys tuned in, we had a ton of action in Spain, ton of action in Italy. The Prem was also the Prem, right? We saw records being broken. We saw a lot of really cool things. But outside of the pitch, we also saw things like World Cup kits drop, FIFA 23 ratings come out, and a little bit of controversy with certain comments that were made, not just by pundits, but by fans, by players, all having to do with Brazilians being themselves. Kind of crazy. We'll jump right into it. I'm joined by Andre, Alina. Thank you both for joining as usual. We had a guest on last week. We're going to be having more guests soon. Can't wait. Box to Box brought to you by GOLZtv. Guys, GOLZ.tv, where you get all of your free to consume footy content. It will be releasing September 26th. Can't wait for that to go live. Again, GOLZ.tv. All right, guys, let's jump into it right away. Is JOGA Bonito dead? I want to start with this because, Andre, this was a conversation you and I were having quite a bit as we're both massive La Liga fans. You're obviously a Madridista. Watching the derby yesterday, you and I watched part of it together, but man, even going into that fucking match, there was so much talked about for the wrong reasons. I think we should hear it from you first before I jump into it with kind of the precursor description. So let's before we jump into reactions around the game and how certain things like celebrations were handled, give the audience just a little bit of a flavor or a taste of why this was so widely talked about prior to the game.
Yeah, I think the biggest piece for me, it's number one, it's nothing new, right? Sad. It's sad to see. But number two, it came directly from another player and also from a director of the opposing club, which I think that carries a lot more meaning and a lot more momentum, especially in the press, right? Like when you see an interview get leaked or somebody goes on national TV and says something, obviously that's going to spiral out of control. So that being said, I'm trying to be as neutral as possible, to your point. Like, obviously, it affected our player, Vini, who's obviously a joy to watch. I think everybody knows that. Nobody has an issue with him. But going back to your original point of, like, is JOGA Bonito dead? I don't want to say that necessarily it is, but I do think that there's a lot of emphasis and onus on the way that they celebrate, the way that they carry themselves. I mean, look at Ronaldinho, dude. Like, that is... I always tell people,
happy. Such a happy player.
And that's the thing. It's like people always say, like, have fun playing the game. Look at Ronaldinho. Look at Rivaldo. Look at R9. Like, Brazilians are like that. Roberto Carlos for our team. And so I love that him and Rodrigo, the way that they celebrated yesterday was freaking awesome in the corner. They're like, yeah, we're going to dance. And today, this morning, Vinny tweeted, everything's the same. Like, that's basically what he said. He's like, everything remains the same. So I don't know. That being said, I think the Koke interview was the one that really pissed me off. I'm not going to lie. The fact that he was inciting violence almost, right? He was like rallying the troops. And it's like, you and I talked about it. Bro, just fucking stop him. Like, don't let him score.
It's the easiest way to put this whole thing to rest is just don't even worry about, what's going to happen after the goal. Just stop the fucking goal. And look, and for guys, for those who maybe are like, okay, what are they talking about? What's this, this interview? Koke went on with a reporter a day or two before the Madrid derby. And in my opinion, just took the wrong path here with his answer. The question from the interviewer was a loaded one, as the media always does. But the question was, what's going to happen in the event that Vinicius decides to celebrate if he scores? And that was the question, right? If he scores. Koke almost made it sound like he's going to score. And when he does, there's going to be a terrible reaction from the fans.
Retaliation.
Going to be trouble. Trouble was the word he used.
Yeah.
And I think that, one, as a competitor, what the fuck are you doing? Like, as a competitor, if I'm a teammate in the locker room, I want to hear my captain say, we're not even worried about that. Our plan is he's not going to score. We're going to do everything we can to stop him, and that's going to be our game plan. We don't see a scenario right now where he scores and is able to dance. We're not even worried about him dancing. Like, that's something for the media. As players, we're realistic. And that's how it should have been handled. I think his positioning was, it's a rivalry. These are some of our biggest rivals ever. I'm going to give a response that's reflective of that. But instead, like you said, it incited violence. And I think that we talked about it already. I'm sure it's going to be rehashed time and time again. The easiest way is just to stop them. Like don't let them score. be a competitor, and just do your fucking job. But I think that like focusing on what's going to come afterward instead of the actual play, it's, I don't know, it's reflective of like this culture that Simeone has brought to Atletico. Am I wrong in saying that? Is that going too far to say that there's been a toxic culture that's been bred over the last half decade plus?
Yeah, that's I think that's the biggest thing to here is knowing that Cholo has instilled the way he played on the field. Great, like he was a warrior. He, reminds me of Gennaro Gattuso. Like there's players like that, that are just like, hard
They leave it
headed.
all
They
on
go
the
in for a
pitch.
tackle and they leave it all, and fans love that. But it's one thing to play the way that way, and it's another thing to like, psychologically change your players to live through that mentality on and off the pitch. Right? It's one thing to leave it all on the pitch, and it's another thing to incite violence outside of it. And you can see it reflected, throughout his decade at Atletico. The other piece that I wanted to add is obviously there's Brazilians on Atletico Madrid. Like, do you not think about those guys too? Like, obviously, Reinildo, Lodi, they've been teammates with Vinny on the national team, right? Like those guys, I'm sure they have really tight personal relationships. And again, this is nothing about like race, ethnicity, you name it. It's just
even though some pundits make it about that. And bro,
that's my point.
What's crazy about that too is, did you guys see the chants by the fans before the game?
Outside the stadium? Yeah.
Bro,
yeah. I'm sorry, trash fans. Like there's
it's
nothing.
2022.
Like,
what the fuck is happening?
Bro, what do you, as a group collectively of people, to be chanting racist? Like chants or comments? It's just
trash.
It blows my mind. I mean, and this is not the first time we've seen it. I feel like for whatever reason, in like southern parts of Europe, whether it be Spain, Italy, racism still is very prominent. And something that you kind of have to inherently be okay with, I guess, to an extent. You shouldn't be okay with it, but be understanding of the fact that it's still very much an idea, present, a thing. It's just unfortunately just how our world works. I mean, Alina, like when you think about what was said, not just by the fans, the pundits, the players leading up to this game. Brazilians are not just in La Liga. They're everywhere. They're in Italy in the Serie A. They're in the Prem. They're like, why, from your perspective, and you're a big Juve fan, like this is something that Italy I think has been dealing with for quite some time. Players receiving racist comments from fans, pundits, anyone alike. I don't know. Like, how do we get past this? Can we move on? Like, how do we get to a point where players can express themselves creatively on the pitch without fear of this kind of backlash? Because this is so stupid.
Yeah, I want to piggyback into your point when you said this is the way players can express themselves creatively on the pitch, because it's not only about their play style and their flair and their culture, it's also what they do after the hard work, after they score the goal. And whether Vinicius wants to dance or Cuadrado wants to dance and they want to promote their style of dancing or what they like and their personality, I think that it's completely fine for anyone to promote that, Brazilian or not, just kind of like having that culturally rich play style or culturally like rich celebration. And I think if some people have a problem with others like celebrating their culture or celebrating what they're known for, I think they should look again in the mirror and understand like, well, why are they being so offended by other people celebrating themselves?
I agree.
And
100%.
This is Brazil we're talking about, by the way. It's it's the most successful national team in the history of the beautiful game. So
if anybody can do it,
yeah.
No, it's true. And the other thing too is like the fact that it came from Atletico Madrid, where Antoine Griezmann throws you the big L. It's like, bro,
and dances.
You're seriously gonna throw that at me?
That's
such a double
standard. That is worse.
That's what I'm saying.
That's like a direct, like, kind of attack
at
your opponent.
It's legitimate
taunting.
As opposed to a dance, which is, it's friendly. It's just promoting personality and culture.
100%.
There's nothing wrong with it.
Now, I will say, yesterday, the dances did feel a little more like, hey, we're going to do what the fuck we want. This is who we are. You're not going to change us. Like, it was very, I don't want to say targeted, but it was like almost in direct response to everything. And rightfully so. Again, I don't want to give this more attention than it deserves. At the end of the day, just, guys, can we just appreciate football, appreciate everything it brings from every part of the world, every culture around the world, and just, it's connective tissue, man, more than anything else. Yes, bro, come on. Just move the fuck on. Anyway.
It's hard to fucking score a goal.
Exactly. And look, and if I think to piggyback on this and maybe bring it up to a more positive note, at the end of the day, I think what's also important to note is the better team won. Like the
Got that dub,
reaction,
exactly.
everything that came as a precursor to the match in a very negative way, I think was resolved ultimately by the better team winning, by them dominating and controlling the game the way that they did. Atletico really didn't have any kind of spark or life until the final 15 plus minutes. And even then, right, you saw guys like, and Mosso, especially after he scored that kind of fluke
weird
shoulder,
goal,
whatever it was, goal. He started to, I think the
He got
funniest
sent
part
off.
of it all was like, he got sent off, but like, why charge up Carvajal the way that it's just, again, I go back to like the culture that Cholo Simeone has instilled. I'm not a fan of it. I think it takes away from the beauty of football. And I think it almost, I don't know, it's kind of like this mob mentality to an extent. If you can't beat them, beat them. And I just, again, I think you open yourself up to just a very toxic culture that will then trickle into the fan base, and we're already starting to see it. So I don't know. Better team won, 2-1. Real Madrid heading into the international break, still the only perfect team in Europe, and we move. We just keep it going. So moving on to World Cup kits, guys. On a more positive note, I'm so glad we get to talk about something that's fucking fun to talk about. We're all big kit fans. We're all rocking different kits from our favorite teams today on the show. World Cup kits dropped. The way that I look at them is, what will I wear? What's my kit game going to look like in November? I'm hopefully going to be adding a few pieces to the collection as we get closer and closer to the World Cup. But look, based on the brand that you support, Adidas, Nike, Puma, maybe you're a fan, maybe you're not. I will say, as many awesome ones as there are in this World Cup kit drop, there's equally kind of a wall of shame that I'm not going to touch. It just, those kits are kind of trash in my opinion, but we'll dig into it. I think the way that I want to break this down, because there's so many, right? So many teams that qualified for the World Cup and how many kits have been making the rounds on social media. Let's do it brand by brand. I think it's the easy way to go about it. And I think it's also easy to kind of categorize them that way. I feel like some brands really gave a full effort. Hashtag Adidas. And I feel like some just, did what they needed to do. Get the kits out, meet a deadline, and they weren't as creative as you wanted them to be. I'm looking at guys like Puma.
A lot of them.
Yeah, a lot of them. But look, let's start with let's go from worst to best. I think that's probably the best way to do it here. Let's start with Puma. I think that there's some kits that maybe we're a fan of. I'll be honest. I think Puma's going to be the fastest one to talk about because there weren't a bunch of crazy ones, and it's a few years now that we've been seeing very mediocre Puma kits, in my opinion, from the club level onto the national team level now. But let's start with Andre here. Andre, bro, is there even a Puma kit that you're a really big fan of? Because the design as a whole is kind of weird. I mean, give me, I need a best and a worst, and that way we give the audience something to kind of gauge how we're thinking about this all. But let's start with the good, right?
All right.
Is there a Puma kit that you're actually a fan of, realistically?
Oh, dude, that question is so loaded. Am I a fan of the kit, or do I respect it enough to say, all right, fine,
okay, yeah, respectable.
Grade. How about that?
Respectable,
serviceable kit. I'm gonna go with Uruguay, the light blue. It's got gold accents.
It's the only one that's
classic.
The away one's
the away one. Okay, and so then that leads me into the worst Puma. I'm gonna say all of them are shit. In terms of like the away kits.
They have to have a number, basically.
That's what I'm saying. Otherwise, it looks like you have a little like frame right here in the chest. It's so weird. And the other thing too, I was talking about this with somebody else. The old Puma jerseys from last year from Champions League that have like the horizontal name, literally like Dortmund or City.
Oh,
or whatever.
Yeah, or Fenerbahce or like whoever it was.
Like that template was horrible, and they decided to go with a similar template. Still, like everything's in the middle.
Did Milan have those too?
Yeah,
did Milan have those too?
They had an away one. I think.
AC Milan. Like every Puma jersey had like the name and then the crest on top, and then the Puma logo, like all in the middle. And then, like Alina said, somehow they were like, "Yeah, fuck it, let's make it even worse." Like especially for the World Cup.
I don't know how that was possible.
How is that possible? So yeah, that's my best and worst for Puma.
Okay, Alina. Again, we can go through this pretty quick. I don't know if it's. You probably have to like stick with things like colors. I don't know if we can like nitpick the design. Patterns, the design's so like
Ghana red is kind of tight too, but again, it doesn't.
The number has to be there. Like I said, if some of the kits that I was seeing, it was just the box by itself, and I'm like, I'm sorry, unless you just remove that entirely, I can't buy into. I won't pick that up to wear it.
It's like a parentheses.
It's gonna charge. They're gonna charge you extra to print the number on it, and it's just like, bro, like it's just dumb. I don't know. It doesn't look that great. So anyway, sorry, Lena. What are you thinking here in terms of? Let's start with best.
Man, for the best, I mean, it's difficult. it's difficult to find one that is actually
pick your poison.
half decent.
Yeah.
But I think here's what I'm gonna pick, because I genuinely think that almost all of them are terrible.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna pick based on like the color scheme that I like which two colors I think go well together, and it's the Serbia home one,
Oh, yeah.
the red and the gold. It's simple. There's like nothing too hideous. Don't look at the away one, because the away one is just it has a little
I
shape.
think we
in the
can all
middle
agree.
again.
Just
Yeah.
Oh, God.
screw the away kids.
Yeah, but I like the home one. The red and the gold is a nice touch. It's minimalistic, but not too simple. I
Yeah.
like it, and I'm
Yeah,
excited
that's
to
nice.
see Vlahovic wearing it too as a UB fan.
There you go.
Yeah, that's true. That's another thing too, right? Like you forget about players who actually gonna be wearing these. Maybe
Yeah.
we'll feel better about it then. I
Once
don't
they're
know.
like on somebody.
I guess, bro. Like,
Yeah.
like I said, silver lining. Maybe there has to be something.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I mean, no matter what, fans are going to be rocking these, unless we expect fans to be showing up and wearing the old kits. And that might
could
be
be
the
a
case,
possibility.
right? With with guys like the
A
US.
lot of people
we'll
do
talk
it.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know for me, like when I'm cheering on either US or Mexico, especially with the US, because with how we'll talk about it, how mundane those kits are. I'll probably be rocking old kits, especially for the home
Yeah.
one. The home one was super basic.
Dude, the other
Anyway,
one too from Puma, now that I think about it, is Italy. And obviously,
not a World Cup kit,
not
like,
a
it
World
is what
Cup
it is,
kit, but
Oh.
yeah, little different because it has
Sad,
like the little
sad.
flag colors, but whatever.
Rip.
you guys are talking about the one from the Euros or the new ones that we
Well,
got?
the ones from the Euros were sick. The like dark green one. I think you were
You guys
wearing it
wanna
last
see 'em?
time. You don't you
I
have
have
them?
both of them. Yeah. You
Oh
guys
no
wanna see 'em?
shit! Yeah,
Yeah,
go
Yeah,
bring them out.
I can
Bring them out.
show you.
100%.
Those are
100%.
dude. Those green ones are like the dark green is tight, and with
Yeah,
like the
I
gold
mean,
accent or whatever.
I'm a fan of that in general. Like when United did their olive
Yeah.
kits, like the olive
Yeah.
kits were like fucking. Oh man, it's different. It's different in a way that you don't
For
see
sure.
too many kits come out. So I'm a fan
Yeah.
of it. I kind of wish we'd see more of it, but you got to do
let's
it
see
right.
it.
I feel like you could do it wrong.
I know.
So the blue one, I was actually wearing it yesterday for a stream, so it's in the wash right now. But
I see
I
the
will
green.
show you this
Yes.
one. This one is
Oh,
the
look
one
at
I
that.
love. It's
Way
so
better.
beautiful.
That's what I'm
Way
Yeah.
saying.
better.
Doesn't it have like a print
Yeah.
on it too? Like
It
some
does.
design
It does. I don't know if you
pattern
guys
or
can
something?
see it, but
There's like
Kinda.
a pattern,
Yeah.
patterny design on it. That's
It
pretty
looks
sick.
good. It
what's
looks good.
What player is that? What's the
God, do you
back?
really want to see the back?
Is it
Yeah.
Cheeto?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Unfortunately,
nice.
it's a mobile.
Damn.
It's not unfortunate,
Terrible.
guys. Cheeto has his place in
Terrible.
Italian
European
national
champion.
team
Yeah.
history. Like he's got his place.
Not of his own doing, that's for sure. But yeah, I really like the cuffs, and like even towards like the end, you have like the little
Oh,
Yeah.
sweet. Okay,
Italy
that's tight. See, I've
logo.
never seen it in person, but I've always
Yeah.
on TV. It looked great with the dark
Yeah.
shorts too. Anyway,
It looks
and the
good.
back too. Yeah, it's pretty
It
cool.
looks
on
so
the
good.
back.
Italy.
There's-
Now,
Italy
with that
always has
said,
decent kids.
Someone should compare and contrast that to like the away Italy kit for Nations League that was dropped. Because
Oh,
that
no, dude.
God, it
God,
looks,
no, I use a lot of eye bleach for that one after I saw it.
it's almost too retro. They tried
Yeah.
way too hard. Like they overcorrected. I don't know. It
I
was,
agree.
It was
It
weird.
looks like
I agree with you.
pajamas. Like, how do
A
you
little
go
bit.
from that, what I just showed you, to a piece of pajama? I
I
don't
don't
understand.
know. It's
I don't know.
weird.
At least they're probably saying like, "Hey, look, at least we don't have to rock these at the World Cup like every other Puma kit." I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
that's a silver lining. Who knows?
That is. I was gonna say.
And for me, look,
Wow.
for Puma, the home kit for Uruguay, me and Andre kind of agreed. I don't want to venture away
Yeah.
from that too far because I really don't like these Puma kits at all.
Yeah.
So I think that that one looks great, and maybe if I had to pick an away one that looked pretty good, I do like Senegal's because of who plays for that national team, the color scheme, and how bright and vibrant it really is.
Yeah.
And I guess they did something to an extent with the box, but it's still there. And I think I don't know, man. Puma just needs to whoever's
Hard to
designing
ignore.
those kits needs to get their shit together.
I know.
All right, let's go to mid because that's very much what it is. It's like 50-50. Nike.
Ooh.
Nike kits are, I don't know, Nike kits and apparel and everything down to the cleats. Historically, have always been pretty decent. I think their
my favorite brand.
cleat game, it's almost better in my opinion in some ways than their kit game. Their kit game is kind of like over the last like half decade plus, like kind of hit or miss. Like depending on the team, on the club team, that could be really solid. And in other scenarios, I'm like, dude, what the hell were they doing?
Yeah.
I think back to like Barcelona's home kit last season was just god awful.
And then like Spurs this year. We've talked
which is
about
like USA vibes.
That's
to me,
what I'm saying.
US men's national team vibes.
Basic
100%.
template.
Very, very training kit-esque. And I'll kind of kick things off on this
True.
one. With Nike, I'm cheering on USA and Mexico, being a Mexican American, just as much as I possibly can when they go to Qatar. But you will not see me rocking the U.S. men's national teams, at least their home kit. Their home kit this year, very much like Spurs, very much like the Dutch national team away kit. It's got this little weird kind of strung out box at the top. The sleeves are super basic. There's nothing sexy.
Big crest in the middle. Yeah,
dude. There's nothing. Yeah, and the crest in the middle. I mean, I don't know. Certain kits are starting to do that now. I still prefer, on the left side, tried and true. It always makes sense. It's classic. Yeah. Yes, I love it. But if you're going to venture away from it, just make it the rest of it visually appealing. There's nothing sexy about this USA kit.
Definitely not.
There are some really interesting ones, though. I mean, I think the Dutch national team one it's got like aluminum foil vibes. I don't know, for me anyway. I don't know about you guys. Look, if I'm just judging strictly USA and Mexico here, you guys can talk about some of the other ones. USA is a hard like C tier. In my opinion, the away one, it's tie dye, so it's got something extra, but still a
little different. Yeah,
they could have done more with it. They could have done like a mapping of the US or something, bro. Just something that pays tribute to maybe their journey to this point. There was nothing there. On Mexico's side, though, Andre, bro,
fresh.
My brother and I got my dad the away kit for his birthday, and that shit
is fire, dude.
Man, just crisp, and that's what I'm saying, bro. And I know you and I have talked about this. You can maybe highlight a little bit more the process that goes into these kits and why certain national teams are able to stand out more than others, bro. But Mexico's looks great, whether it's home or away. The away one is supreme, but even the home one, going back to their original color scheme, I love it, bro. It looks really good. But let's go over to you. Let's maybe give us a little bit more on the process. Why does Mexico look so much better than the U.S.?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I did a little bit of digging because, again, polarizing views all around, especially with the Nike ones that came out. But what I was able to find out is a couple things. Number one, these processes for design start like 2 or 3 years in advance. So if you think about it, 2019, 2020, obviously we got hit with COVID, a lot of supply chain issues. So I think what I've been reading is that most of these brands said, you know what, we're going to have a design, kind of like a backup in place. In case we're not able to design something better or to produce something better by the time, mid 2022 rolls around and we have to hit, jerseys in stores. Because, I mean, if you think about it, when they announced the jersey, instantly, if you go on soccer.com, you're able to purchase it. But that didn't happen overnight. Obviously, that happened, 90 days in advance, 180 days in advance, sometimes, even beyond that. So that's number one, the supply chain issues, and then COVID. The other one is in terms of like the actual designs. Yeah, same thing. To your point, like, is Puma is their design to be controversial? Like, are they making these so that people can fucking talk about it and be like, okay, that was really shitty, but at least we're talking about it?
That's a fair point. What I mean? I didn't even think about that. That's actually a fair point.
Yeah.
And so that's a big piece that goes into it. And then the last piece is the reason why the Mexico one is. I think, and
we'll talk about Adidas versus Nike, completely different, right? But
we'll talk about the brands.
I don't want to make it seem like Adidas was this giant tier above Nike, but there are certain Nike kits that for the World Cup that were just mid as fuck. Like, not
so the reason why certain teams have more of a creative look on their jersey, I'll give you the example that I read, which is Mexico and Nigeria. Like, if you think about Nigeria, they always have like these crazy green kits with like patterns, and like they play into like their culture and their roots. Same thing with Mexico, right? Like, even going back to 98 with that big Aztec calendar in the middle, which to some people was like kind of wild. And now, if you look back at it, like from a retro standpoint, you're like, shit, I wish I had that jersey.
Well, they're actually, I'm sure they're going to recreate it, bro. Everything nostalgic comes back around. Like it will. 100%.
So the reason why those kits are always a little bit better or a little bit more creative is because when you start looking at those processes and plays that I mentioned of like 2-3 years in advance, they look at teams who historically tend to make the World Cup. Right. So then when you look at like Mexico and Nigeria, chances are they're going to make it. When you look at like Canada and US, I don't know. It's going to be tricky. So it's fucked up, but it's like they do give preference, or they give this like creative preference to teams that like historically tend to make it. That's why you see Argentina, Germany, Brazil. Those kits are fucking sick.
Why is the Italy one so bad then?
That's
they
true.
probably knew. They were like, they didn't make it last time.
That's a really good point.
I think the Puma team was probably like, bro, the Italy kits are fire. Watch, they're gonna make the World Cup. They just won the Euros. They're gonna make the World Cup. And look, it's like they thought they had this super fire kit, and people ended up, destroying it anyway. But I think they were trying to be the talk. I kind of, now that you point that out, I kind of like they were trying to be the talk of the town.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if you're gonna be a meme, do it in the biggest way possible, right?
Yeah, I mean, bad publicity is publicity. So fuck it.
That's
Like for
fair.
them, they're like, fuck it. I want them to talk
PR is
about
PR,
Puma.
100%, bro. I
Anyway,
don't know. Anyway, back to your favorite
yeah,
Nike kit. I mean, there's some real interesting ones.
there are.
Which one do you like the most?
I'm gonna go with France, dude. And I get it. People are gonna say like, "Oh, it's basic, it's the same." But if
I
you
mean, the
really
away
like,
kit is kind of cool.
yeah, there's like a pattern. There's like the Arc de Triomphe on it. The blue France one is kind of cool with the little accents too. And then the crest with the 2 stars. So I like that a lot. And I'm always a sucker for blue, red. Again, I've mentioned this before, but my alma mater, DePaul, they wear blue, red. I really like the combination with the socks. So France is my favorite. In terms of my least favorite, Portugal home, dude. What the hell is that?
Oh my god!
Fucking watermelon, dude.
It's like a diagonal. I don't know,
so
bro.
Weird,
I almost want to like. You feel like that's probably going to be part of it, right? It's like one of those screens, those screen overlays where it like comes apart diagonally like this. That's what it reminds me of. I don't know.
Also, that's weird. Now that I think about it, for people who are colorblind, I need to ask them what that looks like. Like, bro, what does this look like to you? Because this is trash.
I don't know, bro. I can't wait to see it on the field. I can't wait to see.
It's gonna be weird. The contrast, like the shorts are green, so like if you look at it from the back, it looks fully green, and if you look at it from the front, it's like this half and half, like red and green. I don't know.
What does the away one look like again? Here, let me look.
The away one's kind of clean. It's white, and it's got a strip, horizontal strip. That's the flag of Portugal. So it's got the green and the red.
Didn't they already do that?
Didn't they already do that? Similar. They did a similar
wasn't
one.
it a thing? What you mean, like in 2011, 2012, there was like that Nike kits had the bar here, and it kind of had like the diagonal split between the 2 club colors. I remember Barca had one as their away, but like a bunch of Nike sponsored clubs had it.
I think they did it for like the Euro that year in 2012, if I'm not mistaken.
It's not bad. It's just not as bad as like the home kit. The home kit is so garbage. I mean,
my least favorite, dude.
Bro,
and
just
again,
zero
Nike,
creativity.
And Nike's like my favorite brand, bro. That's the thing that sucks. It's like, bro, you can do way better than this. Come on.
Their cleat game is way better than their kit game. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Alina, what do you think?
What do you think? What's your favorite? Is Portugal your favorite?
Oh my god. Yeah.
He's like, I actually just pre-ordered it.
Actually, yeah, it's on the way. No. Actually, no. What I know we're hating on the Portugal one. Not that I like it, but I saw some like photo shoots of like the Portuguese players wearing it along with the shorts, and it doesn't look that bad.
Okay, hold on.
So see, that's the thing.
Let me see it. Hold on. Let me see the full kit. The shorts are green?
Yeah, the shorts are green, so it kind of like blends a little better.
What are the socks?
And the back of it is kind of weird. The socks are red. So it's like half green, half red.
Because the split goes up into the armpit, so it comes like
that's what I'm saying,
and then it comes back. Oh,
yeah, weird. The top part is terrible. The bottom part is kind of manageable, but yeah, I mean, I don't know anyone who is gonna look at the Portuguese kits and say they're not absolutely the worst one out of all of the other ones.
For sure.
In terms of my favorites.
Especially because Portugal always has like really good kits.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And you're not going to... They're doing Ronaldo dirty, by the way. This is going to be his
last
World Cup. Unless like a miracle happens, which honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he sticks around for another World Cup.
4 more years?
Yeah. Like he might maybe be playing like a second
41,
level team.
42
or
some shit.
Yeah.
Jesus.
No, I don't know about Zlatan. Like I doesn't even have 50? A knee anymore. But no, I honestly see Ronaldo playing at the next World Cup too.
I could
maybe
see
as a super backup, or maybe for like the locker room presence or whatever it is. But
for sure,
going back to the points, I really like the Korea Republic one, that red one. Kind of like a pinkish red. It stands out to me. I like the color. I like the little pattern they have on the sleeves, and it'll probably look even better if the players are wearing like a long sleeve shirt, because that pattern is probably going to kind of like be all the way down till the end of the arm. I like that one. Their away one is I don't know.
But what's up with the checkers on the home one though?
The checkers?
Like you know how they're kind of spaced a little bit like weird at the bottom and
the Czech Republic?
Oh no,
which one are you
sorry.
talking about, Joey?
I thought you said Croatia. I'm sorry, was I off?
Oh no, I said Korea.
Oh,
that's
Korea.
The one I like.
I thought we said Croatia. Okay, sorry.
No.
Korea.
Oh, that one. Yeah, the little red. I feel like they kind of like miscalculated how many squares it was supposed to be on that.
I know.
Jersey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, Croatia
There's-
looks weird. That's why I was about to like open up and laugh. But no, Korea looks good.
Korea's
Korea
hype.
looks really good, bro.
Yeah.
I would wear that. Would you guys rock that? Would you buy that
Yeah.
jersey?
Who
Yeah,
would you
for
buy
sure.
for which player?
Oh, I wouldn't. I can't.
The
Arsenal fan in me.
saying it.
Yeah, I can't do it, guys. I can't.
What?
No way in fucking hell. When I know like all Mexican fans were cheering at the last World Cup for him, right? Whenever Korea beat who was it?
Germany,
right? For like, placings in the group and whatnot. I cheered on the country. You wouldn't hear me cheer on Son though. There's just no way. I'm nothing against him on a personal level. I think he's a good person. I just can't cheer for anybody on Spurs, bro. Like no personal vendettas, but
What would you do if he goes to play for Arsenal?
Don't ask me that question, bro.
I'm just kidding.
He's too old for Arsenal.
Yeah. I honestly, bro, if he was going to move to someone, it would be like United would take him. I think. You imagine like Son moving to someone in the like someone else in the Big Six, like Chelsea? I think would take him.
Well, honestly, it's I would equate it to like Sterling making that move from City to Chelsea.
Oh yeah, that's fair. That's fair. That was actually kind of an interesting move. But anyway, back to the kits. I mean, so Korea was your favorite. What was the antithesis of that? What was your least favorite?
Oh god, let me have another look. Actually,
dude, I actually now that I think about it, the Holland home. To your point, what is it? It's not orange. It's like fucking gold. Like
I kind of want to buy it just to see what it feels like. Bro, I would equate it to like a candy bar wrapper, but like I don't know,
like a Twix bar.
Yeah, bro. Like I don't know what it. I don't know what it feels like. I want to touch it. I want to grab it. The texture. I want to like put it on. But the away one's absolute trash. Like if you guys have seen, it's just a reskinned U.S. men's national team home jersey. Like it's so bad. But sorry, Alina, what were you saying? Your least favorite?
I think my least favorite is Poland home.
Ooh.
Away is fine because it has some sort of pattern, but Poland home is straight up just red with a logo and a little like collar action, like a little line going over like over here, and then like on the neck area. It's just so bland and so basic. There's nothing there.
To me, that just screams like lazy. You know?
Yeah, they could have had like that pattern that they have with their away one. They could have had that same pattern with the home one, but.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's just very bland.
Good point.
Very bland.
Guys, quick update on the Dutch national team jersey. It is known as laser orange. Anyway,
okay. Still not.
I don't know, bro. Like I said, don't count them out of it just yet. I might get that one. We'll see. Just out of curiosity, curiosity.
I feel you.
I feel you right now.
The way is tight. The dark blue is sweet.
Yeah,
but I just can't buy into the pattern, bro. No one will ever sell me on that pattern. The whole like the box up here and shit. I just there's nothing.
You know when they should have had that? When they had the golden generation, as they called it, with like Snyder and all those players.
Oh
yeah, like Van der Vaart.
Well, you say that, but like Mexico fans everywhere will hate that team just because of what happened
Robin.
With that one World Cup.
Yeah.
Still wasn't a PK though.
We're not going to bring that up. Anyway, moving on. Adidas, the last one here in this segment before we move on to FIFA 23 ratings. Guys, with Adidas, in my opinion, cream of the crop. I think that it felt like they gave every team the attention they deserved, every country the attention they deserved. A lot of really good ones to pick from. Let's start. Well, here, look, I'll give my quick 2 cents, and then we'll hop over to Andre.
Sure.
For me, look, I think, dude, there's so many good ones to like pick from. The Mexico one's hard not to pick up there because of how much homage it pays to Mexico's roots.
Yeah.
Down to like the pre-conquered Mexico. You know what I mean? So like it's one of those things where like it's so hard not to look at the away kit and be like, boom, that's my favorite.
You can tell all the like cultural influence, right? Like the Aztec stuff and like the patterns and shit. It's so cool.
Good. But then you look at the Hot Wheels Flames that is Argentina national team, and I don't know, bro, that one's kind of sexy.
Oh my god, you would pick that.
I think of the car that Tyrese Gibson was driving in Too Fast, Too Furious. I think of that, and bro, I
think of Guy Fieri, dude.
Bro, it's kind of lit. It's kind of lit. You might see me rock that
it's
one.
Literally lit.
Literally lit.
Lit, bro. I don't know. That was watching Messi rock that one. That one might be it. I don't know. Those two are some of my favorite. And then like, is it Japan? Japan has
Japan has a sweet one.
Yeah.
The long sleeve one though, the short sleeve one, you get a little bit of a taste. The away
but
one,
the long sleeve,
what it's going to look like. But when you see the sleeves fully embrace it, oh man, looks
Fresh.
so good. Anyway, there's a bunch of them here that I can really pick from. The ones that I'll probably get: Mexico's away.
Yep.
Probably going to get Argentina's away. And Japan, I'll debate it, just because like I also want to have some affinity with the players and whatnot. But we'll see. Who knows? There's probably a lot that I'm going to be grabbing. Andre, what about you?
Dude, okay. So Mexico, obviously, I mean, that goes without saying. I get it every World Cup. And it's a banger. And then the ones that we didn't talk about is the goalkeeper ones. I don't know if you guys have seen them, but
it's a template for all the Adidas ones, right?
No, like so there's 4 that are different.
Yeah, you're right.
Like one for Campos, one for Goicoechea from Argentina. I think there's one for like Germany, and then there's another one.
Late 80s, 90s.
Super sick, dude. So if they sell those, I'm grabbing that. So
are they going to sell them? Because they're very off the wall.
I know, but I did see like a couple of... Yeah.
They usually
they should be able to
sell them.
Dude, like I'm looking right now for like the Spain one is like, holy
That's the one
shit,
that I was
off
missing.
the wall.
Yeah. Who's going to wear the De Gea, you guys think? Or
yeah, he has to. Unless he's not the number one. Because I know Unai Simon has been the number one for them recently. But
yeah,
still,
I mean,
pretty tight.
These are pretty dope. Yeah,
it's
like
just
the
different,
Adidas templates. Yeah, because the Adidas template, I asked for about a template because they use that for most of like the football associations they work with that they're partnered with,
like,
right?
Or like clubs too, like the
that's what I'm saying.
Red,
like MLS, right? MLS wears every keeper wears the same variation of that templated jersey. So I didn't know if they were doing that for the World Cup. All right, Alina, is there a best and worst here? Because there's so many good ones to choose from.
Oh yeah,
there's so many. But
which one are you buying?
Which one am I buying? Man, those Germany ones, they are so
fresh.
Beautiful. I literally
the away ones, right?
The black.
Both of them, honestly,
yeah, that's
both
true.
of them
You
are
can't
beautiful.
Go wrong.
And an hour ago, just talking with my dad, and I was like, we gotta get you a Germany
let's go.
or away, depending on what you want. And actually, I got him a Germany kit. I got him this kit here. If you guys remember this one.
The blacked out, that one's sick.
The sleeves are the best part of that. The sleeves are the best part of that. The very bottom. I love that.
I like the all black patch. The all black patch is freaking sick.
Over here too, it's kind of like it has a German flag on it, but it's like a really large portion. It's just beautiful.
That is a fresh kit. Nice, good pick.
Like this one, they always kill it. They always kill it with the with the jerseys.
I mean, their last World Cup was pretty sweet too. Like the classic white, but that paid homage to that old school one with a little pattern in the front.
100%,
and the green was sick too. Yeah.
Is there a one that you just like aren't really messing with? One that you're just like, nah, that's not it, not for me. Honestly, one as much as I want to buy into Spain's blue does not look good. Like it's kind of.
Yeah, that's a good
little the wavy action they have, the pattern.
Down, up and down. I don't know, bro. It's just it reminds like a frequency wave. I don't know. It's kind of weird, but I don't know. It's interesting.
I will say though, kind of what we talked about at the beginning of the section, like Adidas was definitely the one brand that was more creative, right? Like you can tell that they took risks, took chances, like iterations. Like they weren't just like, all right, we're gonna do something super basic,
Bro, not even that. Just the bare minimum, right? Hey, we're actually gonna try. We're actually gonna give every country that we work with their some kind of a customized kit.
Unique.
So, there's some creativity there. You can see it. It's awesome, guys. Let us know in the comments, right? If there's some kits that maybe we didn't talk about, maybe the ones that you guys are eyeing. If you guys have, I don't know, I'll take pictures all day too. If you guys have like. You're already rocking one of these kits. You already ordered one. You already got it. Let us know. Let us know what it looks like, bro. I'm still debating a ton of them, and I'm probably going to get more than a few leading up to the World Cup. So we'll see. All right, guys. Moving on from World Cup kits into FIFA 23. Just around the corner. The ratings dropped. There's more than a few interesting ones. I almost wonder, how realistic and how. When I say realistic, how much of these ratings are based on actual IRL gameplay that you see. Because we've all kind of talked about this, off the show, but who was the best player in the game, arguably, last year, right? Probably Karim Benzema, at least in Europe, right? For the purposes of that argument. And, we were hoping to maybe see some of that translate over into the game. There's some things that you can't mimic, right? Like their pace and you can't really just in an unnatural way just buff that up and make them crazy fast. But I think overall ratings, we're expecting to see maybe some changes from this past season. all in all, it kind of feels somewhat like FIFA 22. I mean, Alina, you're the expert here, so let's start with you. Are there players here that you were thinking were going to maybe be better or a little more accurate? Like, talk to me. What are you thinking with some of the players that are in the top 100 that are seeing some of those ratings go up for FIFA 23?
I was surprised to see so many players tied for the highest rating, like 91. Because for me, I
How
think
many is
hands
it?
down, I
5.
think it's like 5 or 6, right?
It's 5. Yeah, Benzema,
Yeah,
Lewandowski,
5.
Mbappe, De Bruyne, and Messi. All 5 of them have 91. Yeah,
Yeah, for me personally,
That is the highest rating in FIFA 23.
91.
91.
Okay.
That's not counting the icon
Yeah,
cards
Yeah.
well,
or the
yeah.
legends, depending on what they're gonna call them.
Okay.
But
But
live
here's the thing
players,
for
yeah.
me, like I don't think this is even arguable. Like Benzema was the best player of last season, so like his rating, he got a couple points upgrade, but it's still not reflective of how well he actually did.
It
And
says
another
he's
thing
number 1 though, isn't it?
I mean, I think in terms of rankings, like they have to go from like 1 through whatever. But at the end of the day, the overall is basically the same. And the other thing that I think helps in the ranking is how many spots they moved up, because he moved up like 13 spots from the last ranked ratings. So
yeah, I mean the issue with Benzema, Alina, right, is like he can combine well, but his pace, right? I mean, like who's going to use him?
Yeah, his pace. He had one card in last FIFA. I think it was like his 94 rated card. I don't remember what the promo was like
Was
exactly
it
called,
Tots?
but no, it wasn't Team of the Season. It was like a dark blue/gray border card. I think it might have been Player of the Month, if I'm not
Okay.
mistaken, but I don't remember. But I know a lot of people got that card for the wrong reasons, because he was like a relatively cheaper rated 94 card that they were gonna they were
yeah,
gonna use as fodder in like other SBCs and stuff like that, which is
It
it's
is
just
what it
sad to
is.
see. But it's
yeah.
it's the pace, man.
I
It's
mean,
the
he's got
pace.
80 pace. It's tough. It's like really tough
Yeah.
to do anything. You
Yeah.
almost have to have a formation that I mean, and then at that point, you're stacking up a 5-3-2, and you're trying to utilize wingers to help him out. I don't know. It's way easier to try and get someone like an Mbappe or even. I mean, to
Even
be fair,
Salah.
even Leva's pace is not great either. He's
No,
the
it's not.
second overall, and it's 75. He actually dropped 3 in pace.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
it's tough, man.
I
Like
think
you
it
can't
depends.
translate that.
yeah. It
Yeah, I
does.
think it depends, because like for last year, what I personally really liked using was like one target man, which I used Vlahovic. He had like 90 pace, which is still a lot more.
Yeah, it's
Like at
pretty
least
sick.
his team of the season card, and then like a smaller striker. But I know
Mm-hmm.
like a bunch of people like different things. Like some people only like running smaller, agile strikers.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah, like
and
instead
we
of a
don't know the
target man.
meta. We don't know
Yeah,
how the meta is gonna work on FIFA
yeah,
23 either. So
it's
maybe
true.
the target men slower strikers are gonna be the way to go.
Yeah.
Is Holland being an 88 kind of
Oh,
weird?
dude, thank you for bringing that up. Come on, man. Outside of the top 20, my man is a machine at scoring goals. Like, what are
Yeah,
we
but they don't
doing,
translate half this shit to real life, bro. Like
brother?
it's
To give him
legitimately
an
like
88,
yeah. I mean, what is it? What is his pace? 89. So solid pace. It's not 90, but
shooting
decent
91,
pace. His
solid. But
passing 65.
Here's my thing. Nothing really improved at all. Like, he literally remained the same, and he just went
I
up.
mean, he improved 8 overall on his overall rating.
Did
He
he?
went from
No, he wasn't
no
Eh?
no
80.
no not 8. Sorry, his rank, not his overall rating. Sorry, his rank.
Yeah. He
Okay.
moved up
Yeah.
eight
He
spots.
moved
Yeah,
up
yeah, yeah.
8 spots from where he was last year. So that's a
Yeah,
pretty
but
big buff.
I also think it's because other players went down. Like Conte went down 10, Oblak went down 13. Like Harry Kane dropped 9. Like there's big drops too, so it kind of evens out. But my thing is Holland 88 is an abomination, dude. Like you can't tell me that he's the same as Ruben Dias. Like what?
Hey,
Nothing against
bro.
my man's, but
Ruben Dias,
dude,
good defender in FIFA,
Not
dog.
that bad.
Keylor
Yeah,
Navas
yeah.
I
88.
packed his team this season like 4 times.
That's fair.
He
To
didn't go for
be
anything though.
actually, let's see
Bro,
who's above
why
him.
is I know Courtois had the season he had, but is he that much better than Oblak? Now I get it. Oblak had a crazy bad season, an
He had a
anomaly
shit
in my
season,
opinion.
yeah.
Really bad season. But
I mean, dude, I think so. I mean, I'm biased, obviously, for Real Madrid, but like even before that, I always thought Courtois was like the most complete keeper in the game.
Yeah, but like even for FIFA purposes, Alina, like competitively, wasn't Oblak like
Yeah.
widely considered to be like I remember he was better than any keeper card I pulled last season. And
Are we talking about like the end of FIFA or like at the
uh,
beginning of FIFA?
Or just like actual
um,
ratings, like hard ratings.
Oh, oh,
yeah,
hard rating.
hard ratings.
I
Well,
do think you. I think along with Neuer, he was like two, like one of like the two highest rated keepers. But it's interesting because like at least like the pro players at FIFA, they all used icon goalkeepers. So either it was like Schmeichel or oh my god, what was Van der Sar. A lot of people use Van der Sar
yeah,
as well. For me, I used Team of the Season Courtois, which I loved. I also used Team of the Season Neuer, and I
Yeah.
found them way obviously they would be better because Oblak didn't get a Team of the Season, so it's it's kind of
Yep.
unfair to
Yeah.
compare them. But yeah, he didn't really get any special cards
yeah.
last FIFA.
Gotcha. I mean, I don't know. I think this year in FIFA we'll probably get more of the same. The same mechanics are going to be a little bit different.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. It drops pretty soon. I think it's what, the 27th, Alina?
Yeah. It's next
Yeah,
week at some
so
point.
the early access is the 27th. So I think if you have like EA Play,
Yeah.
you can get like 10 hours, I think up to 10 hours of like trial play.
Yeah.
And then the actual game drops September 30th, I think.
Gotcha. Okay.
Sweet.
So right around the corner, guys, like I said, we're about 10, 11 days out.
Yeah.
Should be a hell of a game to play. And look, for those who are curious, the top 10 as it stands today, as the ratings have dropped. 1, Benzema. 2, Lewandowski. 3, Mbappe. 4, De Bruyne. 5, Messi. 6, Salah. 7, Virgil. I thought, interestingly, it's just funny to hear that, him being number one center back with all the problems he's going through IRL on the pitch today. 8, Cristiano. 9, Courtois. 10, Neuer. So the final 2 of that 10 being keepers. Should be interesting. I don't know if we'll see different different variations, right? Different promos of these cards that we can pull that will be nice little buffs. But FIFA 23 can't get here soon enough. Football Manager 23 comes out a couple months after that. It's going to be an awesome fall. Can't wait. All right, moving on. Let's go to quick hits. Got a lot of action from this past weekend, kind of the last action before the international break. And then we kind of, we had this 2-week window, which is not going to be a ton of football European-wise, but plenty of other leagues for us to talk about. But let's jump into the Prem first. We'll kind of work our way through Europe. With the Prem on Saturday morning, we had City make light work of Wolves. I'll say again, because remember last season, De Bruyne popped off on Wolves.
Yep.
I think, he had that crazy game. How many goals did he have in that game?
I don't
Was it 3?
I think
it was
so.
like a crazy hat trick that he had against Wolves to close the season out last year, and
Yeah.
he picked up right where he left off. They got Haaland involved in the mix. They scored in the opening minute with Grealish, but ultimately Haaland scored again. They win 3-0. Haaland continues to break records. I think he's at 4 or 5 already for the season. Guys, we're at September, and this man's fucking breaking records.
1 month in.
Love to hear it.
Look, I mean, another record, Andre. Let's put a tally on this, bro.
Sure.
If he doesn't get hurt, let's just pretend it's all perfect scenario. He doesn't get hurt. What's the goal tally? And let's say Prem only. Let's leave out Champions League where he's still setting records. Prem only. Okay. What does he finish with? He's at 11 right now.
I know. I've said this before the season. I said this the day they announced the signing. This dude's gonna get 40 goals in the EPL and he's gonna get 50 total comps.
Isn't that crazy to think
not
about,
deviating
bro?
for that number. I know. A lot of people
because
say
Ronaldo and Messi were getting like those kind of numbers in Spain, not in England.
I know. And the thing is, the record is 32 or 34, depending on who you ask, right? Yeah. For the Prem. Dude, he's on pace to probably even get more than 40. Like, fuck, I don't know. I told you guys. I said it from the beginning. This dude is the one piece that Pep needed, and sure enough, there he is. If he stays healthy, he gets 40.
And Pep bought insurance, right? He got Julian Alvarez. So hopefully Pep does a really good job of balancing them and maybe prioritizing Haaland for the domestic league. If he does, I agree with you, bro. 40 is crazy mentally to think about, considering what guys like Scherer have done, guys like Rooney have done. But like, hey man, this guy's built different. What it is. We'll see. We'll see. All right. Moving on to Tottenham. Hey, look, they had a great, fucking fantastic game, especially from Sonny Boy's perspective. But Son comes off the bench for the first time, and I really can't even remember the last time he wasn't starting for Spurs. But comes off the bench, breaks his duck with a late hat trick, and they completely cruise past Leicester 6-2. Alina, is it time for Rodgers to go?
Man, that's a tough question because Honestly, there must be something wrong. Like, I don't think Leicester are necessarily lacking the players. I think they definitely have the players to
Yeah.
literally not be last place. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even in that
I,
game, the first half, I mean,
yeah,
they
It was
moved the
3-2.
ball well. Yeah, it was 3-2. They were moving the ball well.
like
It's
something
just
happens.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is it mentally? Do they have United syndrome where they once the floodgates open, there's just no stopping it?
I
Maybe.
think the problem is confidence because they just have not been able to get any wins and pick up points, and it's always like L after
2
L
points.
after L, and
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's a problem of confidence right now. I think it's similar to United, I guess if you want to call it the United syndrome is once you kind of like start racking up those points and those performances, they'll gain a little more confidence in themselves and they're gonna start playing like they used to be.
Maybe I don't know. It's kind of crazy with the reason I asked that question is because timing's just about perfect, right? International breaks here. If there was a time to make a change, have some time spent with the players who are, and they don't have a ton of players that are going on international break. So if there was a time to do it, it would be now. They're in 20th place, 2 points. Something has to change. They have enough talent on that team to make it work. Guys like James Madison, Yuri Tillemans, Jamie Vardy still very much relevant. You know,
How old is that guy now?
Good
34,
question.
35. But
Yeah.
I still
34?
think that he's got enough juice in the tank to get goals at crucial times when they need
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
And they have enough talent around him with guys like Iheanacho, Harvey
Patson
Barnes. Like,
Daka. Daka plays.
yeah,
Yeah.
Daka. I'm like they have talent enough to be viable in the table. It's just like for whatever reason, it's not clicking. And Rogers is trying to defend his players as much as he can, but it kind of is what it
It's
is.
sad
With
to
that
see,
said,
bro. Like, I hate it because Leicester's,
I feel for him. I feel
me
for him,
too,
but
bro. Like, I feel bad. And to your point, Lena, like the confidence piece, you saw it on the game. Like, there was a couple plays where it was like a breakaway for Daka, and instead of like taking the men on
Yeah.
or going to goal, he would just like shoot it from like 30 out. And like, bro, you're wasting your chances. At least make it dangerous on Lloris. Like, I don't know.
yeah.
So
On the other side of the
hopefully they get it
coin,
back.
on the other side of the coin, Son, great hat trick. I'm glad he
Beast.
broke his duck. He deserves to be scoring goals. He deserves to be starting for that team. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. But with that
Yep.
said, um, do it against 20th place Leicester. That's great. Do it in the Champions League. Do it against top six opponents.
What happened against Sporting Lisbon, right?
Exactly, right? Be more relevant than the young players that are on your team. You are one of the veteran leaders. You and Harry Kane should be leading that attack from the forefront every match, no questions about it. And the fact that he had 0 goals, 0 assists coming into that match, it was very shocking to me. Someone who was the Golden Boot winner just months before, and he just really wasn't that relevant. It almost was a genius signing by Conte to bring in Richarlison.
And honestly,
I think
some would argue that like the fact that he got benched, he got the best out of him.
finally,
He
yeah.
made
I
a
mean,
fucking
maybe that's
statement,
what it takes, bro. Like maybe
Yeah.
he has to be that guy off the bench. If he can continue to score goals at that rate, I mean, why not? I don't see why he can't. But maybe this is what he needs. Maybe this is a kick in the ass. Who knows? But either way, 6-2, hell of a score line. Great to see Sonny back on the score sheet. Now, moving on to Arsenal. Guys, top of the table again. Feels good.
This dude.
3-0 to reclaim top spot. Look, guys, Brentford, not an easy team to scoff at. Ivan Toney just got called up to the England national team. They got a real goal scorer on their hands. They play well at home. Thomas Frank knows ball, knows how to get the best out of his team. Yet Arsenal, very routine victory. 2-0 at halftime. Great to see Fabio Vieira on the score sheet in the second half, make it 3-0. Saliba. I love it. Bro. I love it. I love it. It's so great to see Arsenal playing the way they should play, especially coming off the back of a defeat to United 3-1 in a game where I also thought they played very well. I mean, Andre, was this what we should be expecting from Arsenal week in and week out?
Yeah, it's what we talked about at the beginning, right? Like that consistency that Arteta started to build, end of last season, obviously didn't end how you guys wanted in the top 4, but then we saw it in the you bottled it. You saw it in the preseason with that win against Chelsea. I always see that as like a precursor, right? Like how do you approach a big game like that, a derby especially? And obviously leading into the beginning of the season, I mean, I watched the all or nothing thing, and the players just seem to buy into that Arteta mentality, dude. Like everybody's fully put in, even like from veterans all the way down to the youngest player on the team. Which, by the way, you guys average like 22 point something in terms of age, which is insane to think about. So I can only imagine how good they're gonna get throughout the year and into the next couple of years. So yeah, nothing new for me. I think it's convincing. It's going to be tough with City coming up in a couple of weeks. So that's going to be the true test, right? Of saying, okay, we got the Man United loss out of the way. I get it. Like, it's one of those games that like you're playing away and they needed that win. Fine. Move on.
I agree, bro.
But it's gonna be sweet to see Arsenal. Like if Arsenal are pushing for that, if they're top 2 in March or April, holy shit, it's gonna be a nice race to the end.
If they're top 2 in March or April, I'm gonna be yelling a whole lot more on this show.
Mate,
all right,
I know.
Spurs are winning.
Yeah,
we'll see. I think it's a hell of a race. North London's gonna be fucking popping by spring. Yeah. We'll see. All right, Alina, Lewandowski was able to score 2 more goals now as Barca dominate Elche 3-0. It's Elche, so you can't read too much into it. They're obviously, one of the last place teams on the table, so it should have been a very dominant victory for Barca, which it was. But Leva coming in, scoring 2 more goals. Is the Pachichi already his? Can we count it that, or do you think any other goal scorers going to come in and make a race for it?
I think it's just unfortunate that Benzema's hurt because I really wanted to see them like head to head.
Come on, bro. Leva, but let's admit, Leva is
a beast.
Did we think that he was going to come in and score this many this quickly?
I didn't.
No, I don't think anyone really had doubts about him. It's just that rivalry that I wanted to see. It's kind of like, if you had still like Messi and Ronaldo there and like Messi or Ronaldo were out for like a couple months and you would lose that taste.
All the ground was lost. Yeah. 100%.
But I think it was a great win for Barca, and I think it was a great win for Lewandowski himself too, especially after missing like so many chances against Bayern.
So many against an old team too. Like that, it feels so much worse than just missing opportunities against a normal opponent. Like when you play against your old team, they're kind of a rival. You want to show up in a really big way. So great to see Barca bounce back. But speaking of that old rival, Bayern Munich, they're able to make it work in Champions League, and that's great, Andre. But at the end of the day, they are shitting the bed in the league. Yep. I don't know if something's mentally switching off, but for the 4th match in a row, they drop points, and this is the first time in this weird streak of dropping points that they lose. They lose 1-0 to Augsburg. What's going on, bro? What's Nagelsmann gonna have to do to get this team mentally back on track to where they prioritize the league again?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think what I really liked about the post-match interview that he gave is that he was very honest, and he said, look, it starts from the top down. Like I have to also look internally and see what I can do better. Obviously the players are the ones performing on the field, but like there's got to be something there. And I always draw back to when teams that have super high expectations are struggling, the leaders in the locker room are the ones that need to pick them back up. And by leaders, I mean, whether it's a captain, whether it's a veteran, talking about Mueller, talking about Neuer, talking about those guys that have been there historically and they're used to winning. I mean, Alina, you and I have talked about this. Like it's Bayern and Juve are kind of very similar in that sense of like dominant in their league. They always expect it to do really, really well in Europe. And then when they don't, what happens next? Right. So I don't know if it's a change. I don't know if Nagelsmann needs to leave, but I do think that something needs to happen and a shaken up needs to happen internally in their locker room. Like it has to start with the players and they have to have a little bit of pride, dude. You're playing for fucking Bayern. Like, you can't be beaten by Augsburg. Fair. You can't get 3 points out of the last 12. Like that's just not good.
Especially considering their strategy. For anybody who's not familiar with how Bayern does shit, they don't go out there and try to sign world-class talent from all these other European leagues. They literally make other teams worse. They go out and they find best talent from Dortmund, from Leipzig, from anybody other.
Especially Dortmund.
Their biggest rivals. They will go out there, poach their talent and say, hey, we're a better team, but you're also worse. And that's how they dominate the Bundesliga as often as they do. So guys, pick it the hell up. I don't know what's going on, but maybe this makes the Bundesliga a little more watchable. I'm here for it. I've been waiting for this one. Alina, Juve.
Alina, you can take all this. I'm not going to say anything anymore.
God.
They find a way to lose to Monza 1-0, a newly promoted Monza. Where do they go from here? What does Allegri need to do now to hit the reset button? Because this is coming off the back of the Benfica 2-1 loss in the Champions League, coming off the back of a string of very inconsistent results. Are you inspired in any way, shape, or form?
Inspired?
Well, I say inspired because it's the earliest part of the season. Maybe there's a way to fix this. I don't know. I mean, the Di Maria red card doesn't inspire me at all. But then there was I don't know. There's so many issues with Juve right now.
They played better when they were men down. That's all I'm going to say.
Exactly.
Yeah, actually. Agreed.
I don't know, man. I feel like I'm a broken record every time on the show, on a weekly basis. You guys were always celebrating the Barca wins and the Madrid wins. And then there's me in the background kind of vibing, but
The Homer
crying,
Simpson meme of
at
like
the same
walking
time.
backwards into
Yeah,
the...
walking back.
Yeah. Or like it's kind of like, like you guys are talking, it's like that meme. I don't know which show it is from, but it's like, oh, it's fine, and then like everything is
like burning
yeah.
around you.
in
Yeah.
flames around you. Yeah, that's me. That's literally me right now. But oh my gosh. No, you mentioned Jose, like
That's
where does Juve go from here? I mean, you're already at rock bottom. This is rock bottom.
Okay, but
Unless you guys
give
have an
me
idea what is below rock bottom, because it will
give me
get
a
worse.
lining though. Give me a silver lining. I think Juve fans know they're probably like dragging themselves mentally through the mud. Give me some kind of silver lining though. There has to be something. Is it
Silver
an injured
lining.
player coming back? Is it maybe getting Di Maria back into the swing of things because he's been injured for a little while? Like, what does Allegri lean on? What does he tell his players?
Oh, forget about freaking Allegri. I actually read some news this morning that some of the options, basically Nedved is in favor of sacking Allegri. You have Arriva Bene, who is the CEO of Juve, saying he doesn't mind the sacking, but he prefers low-cost options. He's very, cautious about how they spend the money, because they're pretty much going to be like spending 30 to 40 million if they sack Allegri because they have to pay him. And then Agnelli wants to promote, oh gosh, what's his name? Montero. I don't know if you guys know who that is. He's a Juve legend. He played with Conte. I don't know if he played at the same time with Zidane and Del Piero. I have to double check on that. But he's a player that I unfortunately didn't get to see, but a lot of Juve fans say he is their favorite player, Juve player of all time. But there's one thing that they don't want to promote him too soon, like they did with Pirlo, and burn that bridge with him too soon, in case. Basically, here's like the couple options they're looking for right now. They can sack Allegri. They can bring in an intern coach. So like a coach that can maybe change the locker room a little bit and somehow save the season at least for top 4 ambitions maybe. Or they can get Montero. Zidane is another name, but this is a rumor, right? Because we know Zidane wants he wants France. He wants the Euros or France, and that's pretty much all he wants right now. And I think actually the other rumors are there's been a lot of phone calls between Agnelli and Zidane over the last few days, and Zidane keeps saying he doesn't mind picking up the job, but he cannot stay for the long-term project because his eyes are with France. That's what he wants to do.
Oh my god!
So
could you imagine
that's a
Juve,
situation.
That actually be kind of dumb lit. I mean, in all honesty, like I don't know. It's kind of nostalgic. I like bring back Del Piero too, bro. Like I don't know. It feels like
They should bring back Del Piero.
Yeah, man. It's just
it worked.
In some capacity.
It worked with Milan. It worked wonders with Milan because they brought Ibra and they brought Maldini, and then they changed the whole club.
Yep. Yeah. I don't know. Look, I think at the end of the day, something big has to happen at a minimum just to get the fans excited, because it's starting to feel like what Arsenal fans went through over the last like half decade plus, where it wasn't necessarily it was the worst results. Like we were still qualifying for Champions League. We were still like, like getting kind of close to top 4 or celebrating just that 4th place, finish, whatever it may have been. But the trust with the fan base was just getting wider. We were losing it, right? And to a point where Arteta stepped in and like had so much to rebuild on that front. They need something. Juve fans need something to get excited about. I need something for Alina to be excited about on the show, because
I deserve it. It's been so depressing over the last.
You earned it. I
want to celebrate with you guys.
Yeah, there you go.
100%. We definitely want to see it. Well, look. I think either way, something big has to happen. But Serie A is becoming it's getting spicy. I mean, we saw Napoli pull a late winner against AC Milan. We saw Atalanta remain at the top of the Serie A against Roma. A lot to be had over the rest of the season, guys. Can't wait for international break to just kind of come and go, and we get right back to club football. But with that said, guys, we're out of time. I want to go ahead and thank Alina, Andre. Great episode today. And look, guys, please like the video, comment below, subscribe to the channel.